last week we started talking about Metta. Have you ever practiced Metta? Do you even know what I'm talking about?
No.
Fantastic.
Tell me all about it.
Fantastic. So this is a style of meditation. So meditation can do many things, and there are many different styles of meditation. Some are for relaxation. Some are for practicing focus and concentration. This specifically is a compassion meditation in order to build up the sense and the feeling of compassion in yourself for yourself so that you can express it to other people. And this can be challenging in different ways. And so we talked about this a little bit last week where traditionally, so this is a traditional Buddhist form of meditation, and it's Metta, M-E-T-T-A. Mm-hmm. The word itself means loving kindness. Mm-hmm. And so you practice by starting with saying these phrases about yourself. And typically you can have 3 or 4 phrases, and the idea is that it's something like, may you be free from pain and suffering, may you be free from fear and anxiety, may you experience peace and joy. So these are the 3 phrases that we're at least going to use for this month while we practice this. So first we're actually going to do the practice tonight of practicing towards yourself. So you're thinking of yourself, may I be free from pain and suffering. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I experience peace and joy. Feel it, believe it, practice it, and notice how that feels. That can be challenging for people. Mm-hmm. Allowing yourself to feel those things or release those things. Believing that you even deserve to feel free from anxiety and pain and fear and things like that. So you're practicing on yourself. The idea is that you practice on yourself, and then the next layer is we're going to practice saying these thoughts towards a neutral person. So you pick somebody who you really don't have any negative or positive thoughts on. And we had a little bit of a discussion last week about, in my opinion, having even somebody come to mind. Like I keep always bringing up the guy at the coffee shop, but I actually have positive thoughts for this guy anyway. I mean, that's why he's coming to my mind. So we'll practice trying to find somebody neutral, somebody that maybe you didn't meet, but you just saw them walking on the street. And then tonight's main practice, though, is we're actually going to pick somebody that is a friend, somebody that you have fond feelings of, positive feelings, just friend feelings. And so in the Buddhist tradition, they call it somebody that's a benefactor. So we'll practice that. And so we're slowly sneaking up. The last 2 sessions that we have this month will be practicing towards somebody that you love. So that would be more than a friend love. That can be family, that can be passionate love, whatever. And then the last one what we're working up towards is feeling this towards somebody that's challenging. And this is why, so I started practicing this after the election in 2016. And I have been very open and honest about that because I didn't want the feelings to eat me up. Feeling negative feelings because of somebody, about somebody, we can, and this, we'll talk in great detail about this in the last session, but feeling negativity is bad for your health, just simply stated. Mental health, physical health, and being able to release those negative thoughts and put them maybe into something that's productive, but certainly not sitting there and marinating in them. You don't want to allow somebody else to have that much hold over you. So that's what you're working towards. The last thing that I want is for our president to actually cause me harm simply because of the things that he says and does and exists and all of that. I can choose to, so I've chosen to watch less of the news, and watch my reactions to things and so forth. And part of this also stemmed from my practice 2 years ago of practicing loving kindness. So that's what we'll practice the very last Wednesday in December. So tonight, we will start by practicing meditating on ourselves. So before we get started, do either of you have any questions before we hop into this? Okay. Annie, do you have a meditation practice?
No, I sometimes do, but today I don't.
Fantastic. Okay. Good answer. All right. So find an easy seated position, and this can be done even laying down, but the idea with most meditation practices is that you're in a position where you don't feel like you're going to fall asleep. You want to stay present. And you can keep your eyes opened or closed. And if your eyes are opened, it's generally recommended that you're looking in sort of a downward angle, allowing your head to be relaxed. Your hands can be comfortably in your lap or on your legs, whatever feels best for your hands. You're putting yourself in a position where your body position itself is not distracting as best as possible. Allow your breath to become natural and neutral, putting no effort into your breath. Notice the sounds in the room and outside of the room. Notice any sensations you might feel in your body. And the sensation of the pillows or blankets or the floor beneath you. Recognizing that you are here. You are present. Noticing your own body, your own thoughts, trying to release any judgment. And think to yourself, may I be free from pain and suffering. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I experience peace and joy. May I be free from pain and suffering. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I experience peace and joy. And keep thinking these phrases to yourself. May I be free from pain and suffering. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I experience peace and joy. Free from pain and suffering. May I be free from fear and anxiety. May I experience peace and joy. Allow those thoughts to start to dissolve. Perhaps deepen your breath. And if your eyes eyes are closed, allow them to start to open. Just looking through your eyelashes until you're ready to fully open your eyes. Coming back into the room. So any thoughts or comments on that first round? That was about 5 minutes.
Well, like I think maybe I said this last time, it doesn't seem like 5 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
Very short.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just, I like thinking those thoughts.
About yourself, for yourself.
Yeah.
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 Do you visualize anything? So I'm interested in just the way that the things that go on in your head or behind your eyes when you're thinking these words. Do you visualize any images? Is it just the words? Do you visualize what it means to be free from suffering? Or, when you're saying these things, do you even think, like, what does that even mean to me? What would it be like? What does that even mean?
For me, like at least tonight, I was having just these flashes of the moments in my day where I was almost like in a political ad when you're like, you see somebody doing the wrong thing and someone puts a stamp on it and says, no. So in my mind, I just went through a couple of those things and, maybe free of pain and anxiety. And it was just like, like a silly political ad.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So the stamp was like,
It was
no pain?
yeah,
Oh, okay, no
yeah.
pain.
It was
or
like
no...
canceling
Okay.
it out. It's like you're
Okay.
done.
Okay, gotcha, all right.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, I guess I don't think I saw any or thought, any images or anything. I just felt like a serenity kind of thing, just really calm and just felt like very at peace.
Mm-hmm. So I'm interested, and you don't have to give specifics, but when you think, may I be free from pain and suffering, is there anything specifically in your life that even, again, you don't need to give specifics, but do you feel like there is even anything in your life that is considered pain and suffering to you that you do need to be free from? Or feel like that's an overriding thing in your life, it's predominant enough that you'd like to be free of it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my arthritis and pain in my joints, so, I mean, it's...
Physical pain?
Yeah, so yeah, that definitely comes to mind. And it comes and goes in terms of like how prominent it is and how much of a pain it is, whatever. But yeah, that is definitely something I think about in terms of like being pain free. So.
Mine wasn't really so much a physical thing. Mine was more, I have a lot of really hard conversations with people in my work.
Yeah.
And so it was more like boundaries. And because I go in and if I can't move them from feeling that pain to feeling more empowered and feeling more hope, if I can't do that for myself, I can't help them do it either.
Right? Yeah. And then, similar, fear and anxiety. Can you be free from fear and anxiety?
Oh, I've got a ton of that.
Yeah. Medicated for that.
Funny, no, I'm not, but I do have quite enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and for me personally, fear and anxiety, I think those are the ones that's what I kind of focus on a little bit, because I don't have any problem with wanting myself to experience peace and joy. I feel like I deserve it. I love the feeling of peace, and I do, just as you said, like the meditation itself does create a sense of peace for me. But truly, like when I am doing my meditation, it is specifically for anxiety, self-induced. the negative thoughts. And so the things that I guess both of these things put together, I think if I were to put it into one phrase, may I be free from suffering and anxiety. Because my negative thoughts cause me the suffering that causes my anxiety. So that's my meditation that I sort of work on. Okay, so taking these same 3 phrases, before we hop into it, think of somebody that's completely neutral to you. Maybe you don't even know their name. You have no thoughts, positive or negative.
That's tricky because I'm already like the minute I see a person, I am automatically like, oh, she didn't like me.
Yeah.
Or
oh yeah. Exactly. I was just thinking, oh yeah.
Thinking like random person I saw at this grocery store, but she didn't like me because I walked in front of her at the store because I was listening to my book, and so that's not that person.
You know that she doesn't like you because of that?
Well, she was very exasperated with me. She did not like the fact that I was listening to my earbuds, not paying attention to her card as it almost hit me.
I see.
We can go with her though. I mean, it's fine.
Hey, that's entirely up to you. So
Lady in the blue jacket.
There you go. All right. Jeremy, do you have somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So come back into your position, whatever is comfortable for you. You just don't want your body to be distracting. Notice your breath. Allow your body to be here. Visualize the face of the person, your neutral person, or any distinguishing feature, blue jacket, so forth. Maybe you do or don't know anything about this person, name or anything else. Regardless of what you do or don't know about this person, think to yourself and direct the words to the person. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you be free from fear and anxiety. May you experience peace and joy. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you be free from fear and anxiety. May you experience peace and joy. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you be free from fear and anxiety. May you experience peace and joy. Continue visualizing your person and saying these phrases. Person's face to disappear. Allow your phrases to quiet and soften. Allow yourself to release the meditation. And when you're ready, bring yourself back, eyes open. thoughts on that one?
It was hard to, because I don't know that person very well, to keep their face in my, you know, I was focusing on the phrases, and I was like, okay, what does she look like? Oh, okay, yeah, you know, and I'm like, yeah, that's her, yeah, you know, and so that was challenging to like, because I just was grocery shopping in Giant Eagle before, and so I was thinking about the cashier. It was like,
Okay.
and I don't think I've, you know, go to the Giant Eagle often, but I don't think I've had her before,
Okay.
or whatever. So that was my neutral person, but trying to like, okay, what does she look like?
Yeah.
And so I was getting hung up on that for whatever silly, you know, instead of just, I guess, I don't know, should I have not been like trying to think about her face and just thinking about that cashier at Giant Eagle, you think, or?
Well, I mean, the intention of the practice is to believe that this person is deserving of these things. So you really are truly trying to find a real person. And, you know, some of this is also, you know, the interesting challenge of, I was in contact with this person today. Why don't I remember her face? You know? I mean, how many minutes did you spend with that person? You know? And for some reason, you were able to bring her to mind at least the idea, and yet, you know, how much time did you spend looking her in the face in order to even remember?
I mean, I can remember what she looks like, but when I was like focusing on the phrases,
Yeah.
she would like fade, you know, be like,
Yeah.
bring her back, you know, or something.
And that's the challenging practice of just visualization anyway.
Okay.
I mean, that's not easy for a lot of people. I know plenty of people, and actually most of them are artists, who aren't good at visualizing, mental visualization in like a meditation type thing. So, yeah. So I would say, I mean, whatever it would take. So, for example, like your gal with the blue jacket, like if you can just at least, in this practice, think of something that sort of like symbolizes that person. For me, I try to visualize their heart as if I'm bringing it out of my heart and putting it into theirs. Like, you know, that for me is like the actual piece that I connect to.
So like ripping your heart out of your chest. No,
Yeah. Just like that. Yeah. So how was it for you?
It was really good. I have a really kind of bizarre memory where I recall everything about an experience, like everything,
Wow.
and so I put myself back into where I was when I first saw her, and when she looked at me the way she looked at me, I said those words to her. So it was really cool.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like that Harry Potter thing when you think that.
Much.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. It is. It is exactly.
That's funny. I like that.
Magical.
Okay.
And then in you know past experiences, I've a bit of experience with Reiki,
Okay.
and so my hot hands started to come up. That was pretty interesting.
Wow.
Ah.
Very interesting. We've practiced the meditation, Metta, loving kindness, on ourselves. We've practiced on a neutral person. So, think of somebody who is a friend, a benefactor. That for me is a really hard word, benefactor, because it makes me think of the Charles Dickens.
God, yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Great expectations.
Yeah.
Like Miss Havisham.
Yes. Yeah. I think you and I were in the same English class. So that's the problem that I have with the word benefactor. So thinking of somebody that's I don't know, you have kind thoughts for them. Perhaps maybe you've never meditated on them, and so perhaps with this kind of person. So in meditating on a neutral person, you may not, and you likely don't know if they have any suffering. You don't know what their pain is. You don't know if they have fear and anxiety, and you have no idea whether or not they experience peace and joy. You just know that, why not? You should probably be released from these things. You should probably experience these things. So now I'm picking somebody who, the assumption is that you know this person. You probably know them very well. maybe you do know their fears and anxieties and their sufferings and all of that. So perhaps when you're saying these things, you are actually keeping something specific in mind. But be careful with that, because with anything, you may not know the depths of somebody's pain or suffering, their fears and anxieties, and it's just kind of, I kind of liken this kind of thing to if you rub a lamp, genie's lamp, be careful what you wish for, because if you get too specific, then that thing could cause this sort of chain of events that's unexpected. So, just keep that in mind. Maybe you feel it's appropriate to be specific, or maybe you just generally are thinking these phrases to this person. So, get somebody in mind. All right, find your comfortable seated position. Get a comfortable breath. Make any adjustments you feel you need. Bring this person to mind. Either visualize or maybe think of something that embodies this person. Notice how you feel about this person. Where does that feeling happen in your body? Where do you feel that emotion? Recognize your feelings for that person. And think to yourself, directing to that person, may you be free from pain and suffering. May you be free from fear and anxiety. May you experience peace and joy. May you be free from pain and suffering. May you be free from fear and anxiety. May you experience peace and joy. Keep repeating those phrases and thinking of your person. As you're saying the phrases and keeping that person in mind, start to think about or visualize what that person would be like if they were free from pain and suffering. What does that look like on that person? What would it be like if they were free from fear and anxiety? And how would they experience peace and joy? And keep that vision of your friend in your mind, of them free from pain and suffering, free from fear and anxiety, and having experienced peace and joy. Keep that wrapped around that person as you allow the practice to slowly slip away. any differences there?
It definitely was easier to do the visualization part with me. You know, I could. That's interesting when you started talking about picture what this person would look like. You know, when they experience joy and happiness. I had already kind of like when I started saying, you know, may experience joy and happiness. I was already seeing him like smiling and being happy and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting that you like said pictures. I'm like, all right,
I'm already doing it. Done and
one
done.
step ahead.
Yep.
So, but yeah, it was easier at least for me to visualize, because I think because I know this is a coworker of mine who has been going through some rough stuff at work and it's kind of really negative right now, and you know, so I can feel. I mean, I have a sense of like some of his pain and suffering that he's got going on right now. So it's a little more close to home to, you know, for me, you know, understanding where he's at a little bit. So,
Yeah.
So.
I didn't want to stop. When you said it's time to stop, I didn't want to. I
Yeah.
almost cried.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want to stop.
And can you sort of describe why? You don't need to be specific, but generally.
Well, this is just a hard week for people in my organization. And so I was thinking about some of my colleagues that are having a rough time and just wanted to send them extra.
Yeah. And what's really great about this meditation, so meditation's hard. And starting a meditation practice, I think a lot of people are intimidated by it. I think because sometimes, you know, you think that meditation is thinking of nothing, and frequently it's not thinking of nothing. But I like this practice because I feel like I feel like I'm actually being active. I feel like I am doing something, and it's not that I have a problem doing nothing. But I like the idea of being sort of proactive, or making a difference. You know, so it's different than, you know, multitasking or not being able to put down my cell phone or something like that. It's a good form of mental and emotional activity that is good for me, but also, you know, I do feel that is, you know, in some way moving that energy to that person. Because I truly do believe that, you know, we are all one organism. Here on this planet, in this universe, I feel that we all are connected. Yes, part of me absolutely believes in the Force. I will not deny that. But from a, I don't know, not necessarily even spiritual, I think even biologically, I mean, we're all connected. And so being able to sort of send that out is extremely powerful. So, you know, and what's nice about this practice is that, I mean, you can truly do it. You don't have to, like, find that perfect spot. You don't have to have that candle burning or whatever. You just sit there and you hop back into it and continue. And Metta is very similar to just a sort of like a gratitude practice where I think that, you know, so for me, first thing in the morning is the time of day when all the negative thoughts just pour in. And so for me, a metta practice, a compassion meditation, anything like that is necessary from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's what needs to happen in my mind. Because that's what's defining the rest of my day. And so if I can start with believing that I should be free of pain and suffering and all of these things and should experience peace and joy, and then moving on to somebody else, it's telling myself positive thoughts are more important. The negative thoughts are unnecessary and largely not true anyway. And if you're going to think thoughts, then why not let's direct them to somebody else anyways, and send positive thoughts to somebody else. And it's a great way to start your day. It really is. Just similar to the thinking gratitude, being thankful for 3 things before the day even starts, and at the end of the day. Makes a nice gratitude sandwich. And so if you're looking for another kind of practice that's similar to the gratitude practice, I think this is a good one too. So next week we're going to sort of go
Finish the
through
snacks.
Yeah, hopefully. Man, there's a part of me that really kind of hopes the snacks are still here next week, because if they're not, that means I ate them all. So, yeah. So next week
Just keep thinking, may I be healthy?
Yeah.
May I be healthy?
May I not eat all these cookies?
May I be healthy?
May these cookies be full of good
Kale.
May I not be
Yeah.
healthy?
Yay, kale. So next week we'll do these 3, and we'll do them, maybe 3 minutes, maybe not 5 minutes. So we'll go through these, working up, and then we'll spend more time on somebody that you love, somebody that you have deeper feelings for than a friend, and start to think about who's a challenging person that you would like to practice trying this meditation on. And you've got your person in mind.
Adam. Done.
Yeah, there you go. And so we'll talk about that one more. So I think that's the, is that the Wednesday?
It's 19th.
So next week, yeah.
I can go to that. I'm having a switch day.
Yay!
I know.
A switch day.
I'm having a switch day with my kids.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So we'll have the 19th will be somebody that you love. The 26th is the day after Christmas, and that's when we'll think about somebody challenging.
I might not have that. I don't think I can do that one.
Okay.
You don't want a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old doing that. Of course, my 8-year-old will be like, Donald Trump!
So, well, what we may all be thinking.
You don't want to watch an 8-year-old meditate. It's not.
It's not pretty.
Unless you put the camera right on him, he might be good for that.
I see. Entertaining anyway. All right, well, thank you, and thank you at home. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week.
All right.
Yeah.